sipping on the Fiji. Mister, keep it clean like a squeegee. I don't deal with girls who be using the Ouija. Get money, Mario, Luigi. I'm all about the coin, old face, Honda. And if you ain't got that, give me the blue ones, run them. I stack them by the thou wow. 10 of them, man, you know they can't fold now. Yeah, I need it all, man, I'm tryna ball. You tryna be famous, Seamus. I'm on Spotify albums, man, I got a sick-ass playlist. Check it out, learn the routes. I'm Jerry Ryson, I'm a Viking. Moss, or Chris Carter. Somewhere send dope words to your daughter. All I ever want to do, all I ever want to do, all I want to do, all I ever want to do, all I want to do, all I ever want to do, all I want to do, all I ever want to do, man. I just want to ball like 10 ways. 10 ways. I just want to ball 10 ways. 10 ways. I've been visiting the bank, all the tellers know my name. Man, I'm high up in the rank, man, I'm all up in the game. Go hard up in the bank, Mr. Manage be the name. Oh man, you a lame, and that be a shame. I'm in the Hall of Fame, watch me run up in my cleats. Do it hard up in the sheets, tryna look for some freaks. Man, we do this every week, when I go out all look neat. I be eating on the beach, I be watching what I eat. I be mobbing through these streets, you could come and get a lift. Man, this voice be here a gift, I be doing what I do. I be blowing on that pimp, man, I'm all about them stacks. I'ma put them in the back, stock them for my daughters, you better learn how to act. Oh man, old face, blue face. Oh man, old face, blue face. Oh man, old face, blue face. I'm headed to the chase, man, I'm headed to the bank. All I ever want to do, all I ever want to do, all I want to do, all I ever want to do, all I want to do, all I ever want to do, all I want to do, all I ever want to do, man. I just want to ball like 10 ways. 10 ways. I just want to ball 10 ways. 10 ways. No nice.
As above, so below, like the globe, mind spinning, time shifting like the atmosphere, need to pay attention. Perfume on some cockeyed like camps with detention. It's prison, they lynch me, they words hide their intentions. Chanting I can't breathe while the government cat off. Best take off while the president play golf. Build your house upon the sand, I can't stand it, nothing soft. Our community won't talk, too much static, still in shock. Could've trained but we did not, it's too late to fight that clock. Can't yell fire when it's hot, when the messenger gets shot. Cause the powers are corrupt, and we scared it's gon' erupt. So that mountain gon' get tough, ain't that big on giving up. Do it big and run it up, stack your cheese and watch your cup. Watch them snakes and watch your mouth, move in silence, not for clout. Say it like you never doubt, I can't lie, I love the crowd. Gotta keep my ego down, I can't turn anemic now. I just learned to breathe and style like Brandy, plotting to take over the planet. Low vibration beings constant. Take off, baby, we just landed. On God is scripture in all my verses. Breaking generational curses. We breaking generational curses. We breaking generational curses. I ain't tryna waste my air, running circles with a square. If the space is all we share, why we cutting them like hair? Wiped out like Nair, ain't a single judge that's fair. Loyalty, it be so rare, we can't even see it clear. When the royalty is near, I'm the empress on the team. I speak goddess, I speak king, let's be honest, I see dreams. I don't resonate with memes, sink or swim, grow some wings. See the noise, it's just a scream, don't get drowned by other beams. While they busting at the seams, I ain't hiding, I'm a nudist. Honestly, I'm the rudest, that's why they say the truth first. Lying through your teeth, babe, that's how you turn toothless. The same folks killed Jesus, they had to pay Judas. I ain't going back to old ways, let me grab my own sage. Y'all your own Trump, inner child in your own cage. Anger isn't wrong, up to you, control your own rage. Author of the story, turn your own page. I've been staying solid like Brandy, plotting to take over the planet. Low vibration beings can't stand it. Take off, baby, we just landed. On God is scripture in all my verses. Breaking generational curses. We breaking generational curses. We breaking generational curses. I pray your soul elevates and breaks all the stakes that people have tried to stab you in the back with. Packed you on a slave ship, being so abrasive when they should have been adjacent. Meaning by your side, stepping in stride. I see you're upset cause they wrecked your pride. They sucked, were immature. Came at you with love and pure, and that's not something a beautiful soul like yourself should have had to endure. I'd like to think if I had been around, I would have loved you more, but you don't need me for what's in store. You're special, although you don't always gotta be a rebel. Lots of folks dig you cause you come with a shovel. You got long distance vision like the Hubble. These niggas graham crackers cause around you they crumble. You deserve everything you wanted but double. I swear to God, nigga, you cool. You ain't even a nigga, you in a goose. A king in a dream, representing some truth that is just too pure, too sweet, too new. But I've been sending prayers and good vibes through. I hope you get all your energy back and your mind unwinds and you seal all the cracks. That you never have to experience lack. That any struggle you have just pushes you on track. That you got invisible armor on your back and stay the reason all these motherfuckers wanna be black. Black, 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 black.
Let me tell you this.
I'm a woman of very few words, and that's saying a lot.
Living in the underground, always looking up. Currently the world just ain't enough. Been holding on to love and to trust, but life's far from just numb and rough. Been grinding just to move on up, when reality hands out heavy fucking slugs. Testing the internal fortitude of my intestines. Blessings don't lessen the pain of the lessons. I'll only switch up to flip up my middle finger. Fuck it, the game and I are no strangers. Won't let this go for death and no danger. It's my time, I'll fucking spit for 5 fingers. Cause who needs the light of a lighter when you can light a fire with a cipher? And I am the direction of the future, so let me take you there like I'm the Uber.
I'm a woman of very few words, and that's saying a lot.
Everything worth living for is real. Make the choice, deal or no deal. You go get it before it's the final meal. Once it's gone for real. God gave me the strength to heal. Take this pain to turn the wheel. Make life one that truly feels like it's forever real.
Nobody ever believed he was real. Nobody ever knew him or saw anybody that ever worked directly for him. The greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world he didn't exist.
For a minute, with my head up in the clouds, hoping that I finish. I be rapping, I be singing to the day I die. Ambitions of a true survivor, so there I ride. It's my reply to the whole world, know my name. Lights, camera, action to the top, all the way. Yeah, there I go with a smile wrapped around my face, knowing that I made it all the way with God's grace. I found my place with harmonies, keys, and melodies installed in my brain. The hustle of psychology possibly made me this way. Since 7 years old, I've been rocking the stage, and now I'm all grown up and I be doing the same.
This is from my heart, this is who I'll be, this is where I started, and I've been making my way.
lot for them dollar bills. I'm stacking it in gold, we trust. I got my eyes on the prize, no falling off. Every day is a struggle, but I'm devoted to the cause, so I'm going out. Hustling in these streets on the paper chase, doing features and shows. Get my exposure, that's the reason they wanna hate. But tell me what you know about me. This shit ain't come overnight. Hell, I've been grinding since the age 13. Learn my game in the streets from the OGs. They taught me get money and fuck these haters, let them blow like a wind breeze. D1 don't depend on no man. If it ain't about money, it ain't about me. That's the motto with master plan. I do this for my kids and my family, cause I'm all they got, they need me. So why the fuck would I stop? I'm destined for success, and it ain't come easy. Had to keep my head up, cause the rap game needs.
This is who I am, this is where my heart at. This is who I'll be, this is where I started. And I be making my way, making my way. It's all about the fame, I be making my way. Who I am, where my heart at. This is who I'll be, this is where I started. And I be making my way, making my way. It's all about the fame, I be making my way.
This is crazy right here. Spy on the beat, spy on the beat. What up? What's called She Did It? What did it do, Yo, it's the summertime, so I'm around. About this time, so fine, so I'm riding on the bright, headed to the Coliseum, talking to my dude bro. Said, yo, do you see them girls over there? Don't stare, but still peep. I love her open-toe feet. I'm gonna go holler at her, ask for the digits, and possibly we can kick it and get lifted. I walked up to her with my cool demeanor. I said, hey, my name is Age. Hey, my name is Trina. Hey, Age, nice to meet you, dude. But I'm leaving soon, and I don't mean to be rude, but I gotta get this food to my grandma. And I heard the Bukowski, that shit is damn raw. But I gotta go jet. So on your cheek, I'm gonna leave a peck, so you just don't forget my name is Trina. Don't forget me. I was hooked from the first look. Wanna put her name up in my comic book. I hope that she can even cook. Hopefully she can even sing some hooks. It was love at first sight. I just might leave these homes alone and make her my first wife. But off top, Age guy ain't the thirst type. Nope. I Columba, I'm juiced, I got the number. Gonna call at 8, not too late, I wonder. Let me give her a call, but yo fam, check it. Dialed up the number, that shit was disconnected.
What up, everybody? It's your boy DJ Rowe, and we are on Anna's Global History Night. Anna, are you in the building?
Yeah, what's up?
Let's do it. Let's do it.
All right. Hey, what's up, everybody? Global History Radio.
Before we continue,
Oh,
I just wanted to say you have a fan on your on YouTube. I guess Scott wanted me to say that I guess he put up some flowers. He was like, "This is for Anna," and it's on YouTube.
oh, thank you, Scott. Thank you. I appreciate that. Very cool. Very cool. Very cool. So yeah, okay, so we haven't been here for a couple weeks. There's been a lot going on. Kamala, yes,
Kamala.
yes, yeah. I mean, it's wild because
Well, I'll tell you what, she looks better than Biden, so she makes, I mean, overall, Biden was looking like he was a little bit like he was losing it, so.
yeah.
I'm not talking about just losing, I mean, mentally,
Oh.
it just didn't look right.
Well, yeah, and it wasn't even so much what he said because you can mix up words and still know what's going on. He just was so out of it. I mean,
Yeah,
and
he was bad, man. Some of them looks.
yes.
I don't even understand. Like it was almost like he was looking into space sometimes. I'd be like, man, that's not good.
Yeah, yeah. And then just all the times, like when he was at the G8 meeting, he started to walk off. And then he did this big benefit with George Clooney and Obama. And he has this thing where he just sort of gets out of it. He sort of like was freezing and staring at the audience when they were applauding, and Obama took his hand to lead him off stage. It was something you do with your dad, basically. And my brother thinks that Biden had sometimes you can have a real rapid deterioration that's like in the past 6 months or something, that maybe if it had been like this 6 months ago or at the beginning of the year, people would have thought differently about it. But I was just hoping his legacy will be intact. He will be remembered as somebody that just did a lot. I mean, he did a lot at Congress, in the Senate. He did a lot as vice president. His and Obama's relationship is considered to be one, I mean, because it's a weird relationship for people to, because the kind of people that are in those sort of positions are real type A, used to being in charge. It's hard for somebody to be vice president. And Biden was able to do it and do a good job and be 100% supportive of Obama. And it made a big difference. So, yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, there's just so many people like Dianne Feinstein. I mean, she never should have, she was senile and she went ahead and ran for her final term. And if she'd stepped down, then she would have been remembered for what she did. As it is, she died in the saddle and she'll be remembered for that. She'll be remembered for 2 years of senility, basically, and which is probably more with the way being senile works, but you get in an echo chamber, which is what people were saying about Biden. And I kept saying I thought it was very telling that not that in his appearances and go away that in his appearances and events over the past several months, none of his grandchildren have been with him. And I think that the grandchildren probably knew that it was a bad idea for him to be running, because they're a very close family. And it's the sort of thing, like campaigning, it's the sort of thing where you want your family and the grandchildren kind of make him look more vibrant and youthful. And so, yeah, I kind of got the feeling there wasn't that. So there was just his loser son, Hunter. So, and the rumors were he was taking advice from Hunter and Jill, like, okay, that's not who you want to take advice from, basically, not your I mean, when you get in a situation where you shouldn't just be relying on your family. Kamala Harris's sister ran her presidential campaign, and she ran a shitty presidential campaign. You need to try and break out. And I mean, it's the advantages of having your family work with you in a job like that is because you can't fire your family. And with people, and it's not just politics, in any powerful position, it's hard to tell your boss they're wrong. And it's hard to tell your boss things they don't want to hear.
Right.
And there's just such a huge power differential, and people become really seduced by power themselves. And the kind of people, like the people working for Biden, know that they're going to be out of a job once he's not in the presidency. And it's stupid. I mean, I don't know. And it's not that they definitely have lots of options, but it's got to be hard to keep a clear head when your future depends so much on somebody staying in their office. So anyway, the thought was that our belief, and I would mean me and my brother, my belief was that Biden picked Kamala to be his vice president because she was good friends with his son, Beau. I think that had a lot to do with it. And, I mean, but I think I mean, Kamala she'd only been a senator for 2 years. So from my understanding, Washington is its own thing. And even though she's been an elected official for many years with a lot of life experience, when you get to Washington, D.C., you're still bottom of the totem pole if you're new. So she didn't necessarily have that as many contacts and backup as somebody that had been in Washington, D.C. longer. And it's rough. She needed to assert herself while being very careful not to overstep the president. And I think that she just seems like a really different person now that she's running for president. I think now, I mean, this is what she wanted. She did run for president, and this is what she's wanted for a very long time. So I just really think that she's going to do great. And I wasn't about to get into it with the people that we were discussing this with yesterday, but what people are gonna register to vote because of Kamala. Like, remember when all these women, I remember hearing like a bunch of not like black women saying that they would vote if Oprah ran. I mean, it just means that people are gonna want to vote for someone they think will represent them. And I believe in voting, but I register people to vote, but I don't disagree with people that feel like it doesn't make a difference, really. And it doesn't make as much, it doesn't make as much of I can kind of argue both ways. Like, yes, it does. Of course it does, so far as who's going to be elected. But it makes, unfortunately, then you have people that don't pay attention to political issues, that only pay attention to the presidency. And your local people can make a lot of difference. Voting for your local people can make a lot of difference, and your state people. And yeah, I mean, I'm bad. I do not look at everybody. I mean, you get these big pamphlets with the judges and stuff like that. I don't look at everybody. Honestly, I didn't, when I lived in Seattle, I did not, it's hard to believe now that, I mean, because I'm so involved in stuff in Vallejo, but I didn't even pay attention to a lot of the stuff I paid no attention to stuff in Seattle, to city politics, man. I don't even I like vaguely knew. I paid no, I had never been to a city council meeting in Seattle. I didn't pay any attention to who the city councilmen people were in Seattle. Yeah, it was bad. Not a good citizen in that respect. So, but I mean, you remember 2004 when Obama spoke at the Democratic convention?
Yeah, I remember.
Um, yeah, I mean, I remember I was at work, that night. I was working at the hospital and a bunch of us watched it. We had a break or something. A whole bunch of us watched it. And I'll just never forget it because it was an international group of people. So I was like there watching it with people from the Philippines and from Ethiopia and Eritrea and Kenya and Sudan, and that felt very special to me that we were all sharing that, and everybody was just so moved. And my brother goes to the conventions almost every year, and so as time goes on, we always are like we're always like texting back and forth from the floor, and so like when somebody's doing I'll like text him like, oh, that was a good line, when somebody has a good line, or he'll text me the photo from where he's sitting, and he called me. This was 2004. I mean, that was pre-texting pretty much. So he called me and he was so excited, and I mean, it was transformative in 2004. I'd never seen anything like that happen in my lifetime, to see people that moved, to see people that inspired. Yeah. So I was thinking about it. I mean, before Biden did his thing, I was thinking about it, and I was thinking like, yeah, it's been 20 years since the Democrats had an exciting candidate. That's pathetic.
It's been a while.
Yeah. 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 Okay. So like he ran, so okay, 2000, since 2004, because I mean, pretty much, people, as soon as he did that speech, people were like, this guy's running for president. And he was running for the Senate. I mean, he was actually a candidate for the Senate that year. Nobody remembers that. He was running for Senate and won. And so, okay, so he ran in 2008, and I mean, I'll just never forget. I mean, there's just certain people who I remember just. So what do you remember what you were doing 2008? Did you watch the election?
I think in 2008, I was at Ecolab at the time. And what time was the election?
All day.
I know, but like, yeah, it was all day, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I think I was at home during the day, but because I used to work nights, so I was probably
Oh,
asleep
okay.
during the day.
Yeah. Okay.
And then woke up late I was up at night, and I remember everybody
Yes.
going in about the elections. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was working nights those. I was working in San Francisco.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, yeah, I remember those nights.
Yeah, I know. And I was on the yeah, I mean, the numbers coming in, because, okay, so this is why when you have a candidate like Obama, then nobody needs to trip about the Electoral College, because it means a candidate like Obama can win decisively. So that is the reason why that system exists, basically. And so it's the idea that okay, like there's certain, like, okay, there's just certain, I don't know, I mean, there's just certain stuff, or I don't know, like I don't know, like say we were driving around all day in your car or something, and I drove part of the way. So then I said, like, okay, Roselle, let's switch, let's split the gas 49-51. I mean, it's just, I mean, that is the idea of having something like the Electoral College, that it should be, that's not the greatest example, but there's other stuff like that too, or like, say, like we have the art show this week in DC, and I asked Alan what the gallery owner's commission is, and he didn't remember. He said he had to look at his paperwork. But I mean, so like, okay, so like with a split like that, I mean, okay, the artist does the art, but the gallery owner owns the gallery, and that's where you have to hang your art there for people to come in and buy it. So they figure out some sort of split. So I'm gonna have to go back and see so nobody was needing to trip in 2004 and 2008, because why is it always Democrats? Because there was that dispute with Kerry when George Bush, okay, well, it was Bush and Gore. Okay, Gore won the popular vote, but Bush won the Electoral College, so he won. And so Democrats were shrieking about that. I mean, see, just not this thing. Whenever they lose, they want to switch the rules. No, it doesn't work that way. You can't switch the rules just because that's like a first grader's logic. So anyway, 2008 and 2012, Obama won decisively. And then we had 2016. Yeah. Yeah. So then you had the thing, the popular vote and the Electoral College split. And that is something that Democrats continue to complain about, basically. And
You know what? I remember me and you had a show like this before about the electoral. I don't kind of agree with it either.
We've had a couple. I know.
Yeah. I don't agree with it. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And it's not because someone wins, because it's just more. I was really reading and looking into it. I've looked up stuff on this, and it just, to me, it doesn't seem fair for heavily populated areas.
Yeah.
And they should do it more. I think they should go by the people more than how they're trying. I get what they're trying to do, and I remember you saying, well, they're trying to make it fair for the smaller cities or the smaller states. And it's like, I get that, but there's more people. I don't know, to me, the more people, I hate to say it, they should get more votes because they got more people. What about all the numerous people that are in that state? They're not, it seems like it's not evened out on the votes.
Because okay, so one of two, there's a couple ways you could do it, because if you didn't have the Electoral College, then candidates would only campaign in states with large populations. That's why they have the Electoral College.
And I kind of get that, but I don't know, to me, it still doesn't seem fair in that sense, even still, because of that, because there's more people in that area. It's kind of like, technically they're losing out on votes if you really look at it, because they were doing something where they did some kind of thing where they matched up the people to the states.
Oh yeah,
And so
I
let's
know,
just say,
I know
for
those.
example, Minnesota only had, let's just say Minnesota, but Minnesota has 5 million people. I know they
Mhm.
have more, but I'm just giving a
Yeah,
number. Let's
yeah,
just say California has 20 million people.
yeah.
To me, instead of them doing, well, California only gets 5 votes, we'll give Minnesota 3 votes or 2 votes, they should do it by the people. Like, let's just say there should be a vote for every 1 million people in that area.
Well, what I it just it just means to me that those electoral college votes mean it is so that the president will pay attention to Minnesota, basically, so that they're forced to pay attention to areas that are rural. The way to make it fair would be to, and this would never happen, don't make it the state. I mean, it shouldn't have to do with the states at all. Like the election, like, okay, if there was just election for everybody and you counted the total of all the votes, then I
That's
would,
good too.
yeah, yeah, it should
I
be like
totally
that.
agree with that.
Yeah, yeah,
Because I
yeah,
mean, like, even on some of them, like, small areas or small states,
yeah,
the states that they're still kind of old school. You know how they don't like people in their states anyway. So a
yeah.
lot of people don't like moving there. So I mean, to me, I don't know. It's just, to me, the sway of them having that much power. It's like, you know what? Get more people to come to your state. Make your state more appealable for people to want to come there.
That's not the responsibility of
I know
individuals.
it's not their responsibility, but I mean, if you don't have that many people in that state, how much sway should you really have on the government if it's not that big?
Well, you should have some, you should
You
have,
should have some, but
and
it should kind of work with the amount of people in that area, because you still, what you're saying is making sense, but it still goes to me even for the larger states. So the larger states have to suffer because they have more people, because that one has smaller amount of people. The one that should have small, what about the extra amount of people in that bigger state? You see what I'm saying?
yeah,
It kind of seems like it leaves people out. I mean, I get it. You're
I
trying to
don't
say,
think,
well, we can't
well,
have a lot of votes in California because it's a quote on Democratic state, but maybe that's what should have to happen. Maybe Republicans should have to come over there and campaign and get people to switch over.
well, yeah, which I agree with, but that's why it's important for the conservative states to have electoral votes so that Democratic candidates will go visit them.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, if they got rid of the states and just did, okay, everybody casts a vote and then determine who won the election from that. Now that would be fair. That would truly be one person, one vote.
Yeah, that would be good. I can agree with that one.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I mean, areas are just different geographically. And so because you choose to see, to them, I mean, urban people are going to feel like rural people are more important than they are, but rural people feel that they don't get resources. Rural people feel that resources are more concentrated in cities.
And I kind of see how they're saying that, but you also got to look at the amount of people in these areas. If a place has 3 or 4 times more people, and you're kind of saying, well, okay, this can get this, and this is only going to get this amount, even though they have 3 or more pound. You know, if there's a state that gets, let's just say they have 5 million people, and they get 3 electoral votes, then a state that has 20 million people should get what? What's 5? What's 4 times 3? They should get at least 12
Yeah.
because they have 4 times as many people. To me, you're leaving out the people that are living there. And I get what you're saying, but at the same time, they still have more people. So it's kind of like one of the weird. I get it, you know. I can't help it, but places that have cities has more people. It's just it is
Yeah.
what it is.
Yeah.
And a lot of those people who choose to live in states that are, I don't know, North Carolina, or those places that are kind of out in the wood, to me, a lot of them choose to live there. They want to be away from the hustle and bustle.
Well, yeah.
So if there's only a small amount of you that move to that state, why should everybody else has to compensate because you want to be able to make it seem a little more equal when you have less people? Because technically, the people in the bigger state, there are people losing their vote in the situation because they have less electoral votes to try to compensate for the ones that don't have as many people.
Yeah. I mean,
That's the part I don't understand about that. I don't think it's fair.
yeah. I mean, it just means to me, like, like where I used to live, like I do here. I mean, I was the only person on the block that lived alone. But it meant that but I still had garbage pickup. I mean, 911 still, needed to come to my house if there was a fire, because I mean, the Electoral College is like a unit. That's saying a unit counts no matter how big or small the unit is. It means that, because, and I've said this before, I mean, because I just had always felt that, like, okay, if the lifeboats were sent out, I'd be fucked, because nobody would stop at my house with like, say there was a what is it, a tsunami or something, or a flood, and you had to go up on the roof, and people would be like coming by in their boats to rescue people. I felt like people would they could just go right by me and go to somebody else's house, because I'm just one person, and there could be a bunch of people on the roof at that other house. That is the logic of the Electoral College.
And I kind of get it, but it's still, to me, I don't know, it feels outdated.
Fine,
but I do understand. I do like your position on one vote. If everybody had to vote and just
that would be the best. Otherwise,
that would be the best. But I just think kind of those states benefit, the ones that don't have any people. They're kind of
fine. You just let that lifeboat keep going and leave me on.
So what are we supposed to do? Okay, so you get this amount of food, so we can give Anna all this food because she's in this one house by herself, but we have 20 other people over here, so we're gonna give them. Okay, we'll give them the same amount of food, but maybe an extra half for the extra 4 people that are there too.
Well, yeah, it's like how
it's kind of like not fair.
Well, it's like, okay, well, yeah, because some stuff, every once in a while, things work our way. Like when the government was sending out COVID tests, they just sent out boxes with 4 tests in them. So I gave my extra tests to other people. But yeah, so in that circumstance, yeah, I came out ahead. But mostly, I just always felt that, lifeboats are going elsewhere, man. So my like one little unit spot has got to count for something. But anyway, and with the Electoral College, I mean, the reason Hillary didn't hit swing states enough, if she'd campaigned better in swing states, she would have won the Electoral College as well. And so then it would have really, because then it really demonstrates support. Then it demonstrates that that okay, you have the popular vote and you have the Electoral College. And when Joe won in 2020, I mean, he won decisively. He won the popular vote and the Electoral College. And you know, the insurrectionists, they weren't saying that. They just said that they just didn't want to accept the election at all. They weren't saying something, and so they didn't have any logical basis. I mean, it's logical. I mean, you know, the complaint about having more people, that's a reasonable complaint. That's a logical complaint, but their stuff was not logical.
Yeah, I think Hillary did pretty good with her campaign. She won the popular vote,
But she didn't win the electoral vote.
but she didn't win it. But I'm saying and see, this is where the part comes in that's crazy. If we would have went by, like you said, one vote, the popular vote, she would have won.
But if she would have campaigned in the swing states, then she would have gotten the popular vote. It was so close. See, that's the part of the thing that's just, I mean, especially like, and maybe you've seen it with some of the numbers and counties. See, and then because when you look at those states with less people in them, say they go to when the politicians go to states with less people, they still don't need to go out in the boonies. Those places have cities. They can still go to places that have more concentration of people so that they'll get the votes for that state. So, and she should have done that. And so I mean, the division in it would have, I mean, they all should have. I mean, they all should. I mean, and I think hopefully, I mean, you know, I think Kamala, it's a big deal. It makes a big difference to people when the candidates come meet with them. And it made a big difference to people in those states that Hillary didn't campaign there. It probably made less of a difference to them than it did to the Fox News pundits who kept talking about it, but it still made a difference. So I mean, look at all the stuff in sports. Like, it's no different, you know, is like there's got to be, like, there must be stuff in basketball that, or whatever, in football that people think isn't fair, but they can just play better.
Well, you know, with football, I will say I think it goes by with football, it depends on the teams. Some teams feel like to some people that like the coaches kind of help that team, or not coaches, but the referees help that team.
Yeah.
That's kind of what happens in football. Is more like you play a team like that is like a Brady type team. Let's just say Brady. Brady seemed like he used to get all his calls.
Yeah.
That's kind of more of the complaints with football.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, stuff like that. I mean, there's always going to be, yeah, I mean, it's just like, you know, like in Vallejo, people are constantly one of the complaints is Vallejo doesn't have, in Vallejo, the person that really has the most power is the city manager, not the mayor or the city council. And it's because their jobs aren't full. Like in some cities, being on the city council is a full-time job. In this city, it isn't. So, which is good and bad. I mean, it means that the people running for office, it means that they're not detached, that they're not as detached, because they're still, you know, well, they can be retired, but they can be, for the most part, they're working, but it is extremely hard for people to hold down a job and hold elected office. So, I was at a picnic today for Benicia Gay Network, and one of the women there is going to be running for city council in Benicia, and she said it doesn't pay at all. Well, she said it doesn't pay, and I was like, not anything. And she said like 5,000. I think it might be more than. I mean, like in Vallejo,
Well, 5,000 for the year?
yeah. She might, I'm not sure she's correct about that. I think it's probably, but like in Vallejo, the city council in Vallejo they get a stipend. It's about $13,000 a year. So, and they work a lot. They really do. So,
You know, I
yeah.
had a question for you about that.
Mhm.
In these city councils and stuff, how does the pay work for them? Like, how do they get paid, and how do you kind of have an idea, like how much they get paid? Like,
Yeah, I just said 13,000 a year.
so all of them get 13,000. That's for all of them, or
Yeah,
so like, do they get paid weekly, bi-weekly?
probably bi-weekly like everyone else. Yeah.
Oh, so you just kind of get a check every 2 weeks or something? Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, same as like everybody, same as like the senators and the governors and the president.
Yeah, but I know they get bucks. Those are different.
Well, not really. Not compared, no, not compared to the private sector. Basically, that's the thing. That's what you have to compare it to. And so no, they don't. The kind of people that run for office, I mean, there's lunatics, but a lot of them are pretty high-powered people. A lot of I mean, they are all taking, I mean, anybody qualified that is running for office could be making a ton more money. Like a lot of them are lawyers. They could be making a lot more working as a lawyer.
So how do they survive with only 13,000? I mean, how are they doing that?
The city council people, they have jobs.
Yeah.
They all
So
work.
when do they, like, how do they do their timing for the city council? When does
Well, it's rough. Like okay, so I'm talking about a couple of things at once. So then my friend Christina, in Benicia that's gonna run for council. I mean, she's saying she works full time, and I don't know what, I mean, she said she told her team that she's going to not be there, that, she's not going to be available on Tuesday nights when there's council meetings. One of the, like, a couple of I mean, there's been people on the Vallejo City Council that were retired. Like Mayor Bob was he ran for mayor. No, he was probably still working when he was on city council. I mean, he'd retired, I think, when he ran for mayor. Like one of the city council members is a realtor, so she has a flexible schedule. Some of them, well, like Hakeem, I mean, he owned his own business, so he had some flexibility with his time. It needs to be people with jobs like that, like, like one of the like Roz, like a couple of them is a therapist, she works for Solano County Mental Health. So yeah, they're people that work hard, basically.
so you're saying a mayor makes about 13,000 a year?
Mayor makes a little more. Yeah. But in a city like this, because being the mayor is not a full-time job. In cities where it is a full-time job, the mayor makes more, but still not that much.
So
I mean,
how much do you think London makes in San Francisco?
it's public knowledge. We can check. Um, mm, I don't know. Yeah, we can check during the break.
No, I'm gonna pull it up. I want to see. I'm gonna pull
Yeah,
it up
pull
real
it up.
quick.
I mean, like, it's kind of like a real good, like a friend of ours, a colleague of my brother's, ran for office, and he worked in the state legislature for many years and but he did it after he'd already made a bunch of money as a lawyer, basically. I mean, he made that choice because he wasn't gonna be.
Oh, ho, ho, ho,
What
ho,
did she
ho.
make? What did she make? Bro,
How much do you think? How much do you think she made? I'm just curious.
tell me and I'll tell you if I was right. I guess right.
I'm gonna tell you what she made in 2022. How much do you think she made?
Bro, just tell me, please. I don't like guessing games.
357,000.
Yeah.
Wow.
People make more when they work in cities. Yeah. The city manager in Vallejo makes about that.
I'm gonna pull up who's the mayor of Vallejo, California. Let's see if it even comes up.
Yeah, I mean, like a starting member of Congress makes 170,000. So yeah, that's not bad for London. I don't know. I was guessing maybe London. I was guessing London Breed's salary was maybe 250.
So
Yes.
they actually make more than 13. I'll tell you that.
16?
Well, let's just say the average hourly pay for the mayor in Vallejo, California, is $34.81.
That's stupid. It's not an hourly thing. I mean, what does it say?
Let me see.
Because
With
it's
a range between 28.75 to 43.41.
it's a I don't know. That information is, I mean, the information.
But it does say, however, the average pay range can vary greatly, depending on as much as $14.60 an hour, depending on factors such as skill level, location, and years of experience.
No, that you're looking at something different. That's not how elected offices work. Pay for elected office is set. It's like it's set. It's not. You can't get different levels of pay based.
Okay, and then I have another one here that says that being a mayor in Vallejo, California, the salary range for a city mayor job is from 88,000 to 111,000 per year in Vallejo.
That doesn't make. I don't know what you're looking at, but we can. I mean, the information is available. I mean, what the salary stipend is available. So, I mean, it has to, that's public knowledge. I mean, the president only makes 400 grand.
Yeah, I'm looking at. They have a bunch of different things. Everything is saying between 88,000 to 111,000 a year.
Well, it's that, I don't know what you're looking at, but we can figure it out. Like Bush gave Obama a raise because like Bush made something like 200. I mean, before Obama, the presidency was like 250,000 or something. And then Bush gave Obama, I mean, that's a nice guy. I mean, he like more than doubled it. He pretty much doubled it. But that's why it's so, I mean, again, I mean, that's why it's just so fucking hard for there to be diversity in public office. It's so hard for people to try and make a living and support themselves and run for office.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Like my friend Peter, who's on the city council, has already said he's a real cool guy. He's real sweet, him and his husband. And so he's in his first term, and at one point I saw him at some party or something, and he made some sort of comment that made me think like, oh no, he is not liking this. And he's already announced that he's not going to run for re-election. So, because he would have been him and his partner, they don't have kids, but he would have been holding down a full-time job while he was on city council. So, when I see him, he's a really good person. I'm just going to tell him, because like in a way there's also theories or the concept that that's how it should be in general, that in a way, if everybody was only allowed to serve one term, probably a lot more would get done. Probably, put it that way, because it's so like campaigns start like the Congress is insane because they have these 2 years terms. You pretty much need to start running for your next term as soon as you get into one. But say if you're in the Senate, you need to run a year or two. If everybody was only allowed to serve, I'd go for that, man. The thing is, I don't like term limits, I guess, in a way, because I don't like there being a choice about it, I guess, in a way. Like, I don't like, okay, I think if you like, okay, there shouldn't be like a 2-term, you shouldn't have to term out after 2 terms or something. Because if you like the job and people like what you're doing, you should be able to continue. But if it was just a rule that everybody could only serve 1 term, a lot more would get done.
You think so?
Yeah, because campaigning takes up so much time. And if they also, people would be able to do what they want. And people can't, the whole time they're trying to figure out what to do, they're also needing to think about getting reelected, and how is this going to affect me getting reelected, and how is this going to affect people donating to me? Like, yeah, they have to think about it all the time. So if it was just, okay, 1 term, then you're out, then people could just focus on the job. That would be everything. Okay, yeah, that's what I've decided. Everything should be 1 term. It should be like everything should be 1 term. And then if you want, then you take, if you want to come back and run again after that, then you can. But it would be incomparable, basically. The difference. Yeah. Want to take a break?
Let's do it.
Okay.
That cooler, reminiscer, things I used to do, still do. I don't miss them, 'cause I'm still tapped into the same dumb shit. Can't really get out. What the fuck am I doing? What the fuck am I really talking about? Where?
I remember being fresh in the face, a couple classes cut in school so I could smoke me an eighth and hit the stairway and duck out with my friends and my folks so we can go and see what's up, who gets dumped from the smoke, who gets smarter, who can rap and who can pull them and shit, who can get us a bit of beer because I needs me a sip. Let's take a trip down to the liquor store, it's time to go shit. Like kind of couple freaks, they geeky but they all on the tip. Yeah, and I'm loving them types, they kinda come out shy but when it's late night they getting hyped. I want a side bet. I mean, it's time to jet. I've done it many times before. Trust me, I'm just a vet. No sweat. My man, he goes and peeps the signal. He grabs the keys to the car. He knows it's time to wiggle. You know them jingling them keys is the freedom of the road. Let's get out of here and go get smoked and get ghost. Yeah.
It's my life, my life, my life. I'm getting high, getting high. It's my right, alright. If only you knew what I've been through in this life. Yeah. I'm reminiscing on days. It's my life, my life, my life. I'm getting high, getting high. It's my right, alright. If only you knew what I've been through in this life. Yeah. I'm reminiscing on days. Only 10, I'm hyped up. Strict said we finna blaze. Only 11, I'ma try me some gay. I grew up young, at 12, I was getting laid. I said, this what life about. We was at the theater, my chick, she was 15. First time to get brain. Finally found a way to escape where it was okay. From my vices came my pain. To this day it's still the same. I'm reminiscing the day. And it all go too fast, it isn't just a phrase. When you gambling with your life, them dice will get you to change. I'm focused on my mind and my business, I don't listen to lanes. The team will never win unless the vision is same. I seen a bad little dame, I said, hey, I holler back on time, fuck you like the industry, babe. I got the confirmation from that smile on her face. Deja vu, I'm reminiscing on days. Mr. Juice. It's my life, my life, my life. I'm getting high, getting high. It's my right, it's my right. If only you knew what I've been through in this life. I'm reminiscing on days. It's my life, my life, my life. I'm getting high, getting high. It's my right, it's my right. If only you knew what I've been through in this life. I'm reminiscing on days.
Yeah, and we clean moving off. All Rex and Mr. Juice done hit you with the sauce to get you lifted. So now that you shifted into your front position and ready to take flight, kick on back and I bid you well and say, have a good night.
Yeah, what's up, everybody? This your boy DJ Rowe, and we are back. Anna's Global History Night. Anna, you in the building? Anna, are you here?
Yeah, I'm here, and I was fucking wrong as hell about the Vallejo mayor. Shit, people been lying.
Told you.
Hey,
it caught me off guard too, but when I saw it in a bunch of different places, I'm like, well, I'm gonna let Anna look at it for herself.
which I did because you saw it in a bunch of different places, and I simply went to the public pay California governor, which just lists it all. So, okay, so the mayor's total, okay, 40,500 for the mayor, and city council is 17,700. So I was closer for city council. But I just thought the mayor made a little bit more than them, but not much. That's bullshit because he doesn't do, I mean, he doesn't do anything. He does, I mean, he doesn't, no. He loves to say he doesn't have any power. That's his favorite thing to say. But
That's funny.
Yeah. That, I mean, because we're trying to figure out there's some smart people running for city council, and I was trying to figure out why some of them weren't running for mayor, and it was, so I thought, like, well, maybe because it's, well, there's a couple of reasons, because it makes more money, but also, I mean, you need to be elected by the entire city if you're running for mayor. And if you're running for council, you just have your districts. So that could be part of the reason. But yeah. But yeah, I mean, seeing what it paid, okay, that's better than what the council members make. So, but yeah, I mean, a lot of people that are, most of them are working full time. So yeah.
Just so you know, Jody says hi.
Hey, Jody.
Jody is on YouTube.
Hi, Jody. Okay, so we've covered, okay, so, 1 second. Oh, okay, so my little, the city pot project that I've been trying to work on is doing something about all the fucking fires. Okay, Vallejo is insane, people. I mean, so much. Like 2 weeks ago, there was a gun battle where a 16-year-old was killed. There was, people were killed in police car crash, and the police chases. Like 2 people were killed in 2 days because of the cops chasing their cars. And then cars, there was something or other with cars shooting at each other, and a lady was thrown out of the car. The cars crashed and a lady died in that crash. So, you know, I mean, so so strictly speaking, she wasn't a homicide victim, but basically she was. And there's been a lot of fires in Vallejo. Yeah.
As soon as you say it, I hear the ambulance and the police. You hear it? You probably don't hear it then.
No. Usually I probably will soon. Yeah, I hear it. And so people make it real complicated. People blame the homeless encampments. Okay, there's what are you gonna do? I mean, you know, there's a law was just passed that made, because for a while, like, it was illegal to move the homeless encampments, but Newsom passed a law that says now it is legal. So there's all this drama about that. And the way my mind works is just very much from my dad and my brother, and with problem solving, and that you want to try, and for safety, you want to try and make changes that don't require people to do anything, that don't require trying to get people to change their behaviors, because that is very, very hard to do. So I'm on this commission, the Measure P commission, to advise about tax usage. Vallejo voters passed a tax called Measure P. Oh, okay, here's where we get to the representative thing, because I've definitely had this going with people, because okay, it's 7/8 of a cent. It's not on, and it doesn't apply on food or medication. I voted for it. I felt that I could spare 7/8 of a cent for essential services. You know, I don't have much, but I have 7/8 of a cent. And so there was a lot of people that were really against it, and you know how that stuff goes. So the commission is supposed to advise about stuff, and then so a couple people so an issue came up, and somebody said like, well, that's really going to damage the public's trust, because in this process, because people were told this. And I said, that's not my job. That's council's job. I mean, I'm going to look at whether something is a good idea. It's not, I mean, I don't care. I'm going to look at something with my own judgment. It's not my job to figure out what the voters were thinking, because I'm not an elected official. That's called the system of checks and balances. And appointing people to the reason you appoint people to positions is so that they don't need to be concerned about the voters. That's why the Supreme Court is appointed for life, which we know there's problems with it, but that's the principle, so that you can do what you think is right and not worry about getting voted out of office. So I was just waiting for this. So I said that, and what's happening is the person that there's somebody that really I don't want to get too distracted by this, but basically I haven't gotten a chance to try and do some of the stuff I want to do, because the other thing, I never even got a chance to point out to people that, oh, well, of course I did, in my own way, because I said that I was like, okay, well, Measure P passed, so the people that are against it are one set of the, that don't like it are, I said they were insignificant because I'm supposed to be thinking about the entire city. And that's where we come down to the fact of, yeah, a lot of people don't even know about it. A lot of people didn't vote. And I'm thinking about what's going to be best for the whole city. So really, if you look at, you're basically just looking at the people that complain a lot, and you're looking at maybe a couple thousand people basically that don't like this, then you have that don't like this particular thing that people want to do with the money. Then you have people that like it, and then you have a whole lot of people that don't know, that have no idea. So I'm gonna recommend what I think is good, because you don't want, I mean, I'm not gonna go, like, if you're just appointed, I mean, if you're not an elected official, I'm not gonna sit there and figure, somebody was talking about, like, well, this will like damage the public trust. I'm like, to me, I'm not going to be sitting there thinking about how other people are going to feel about this decision. I'm going to look at the information. I'm going to do what I think is right, and if it's something that is correct, according to the guidelines, because it just goes to city council anyway. So I was trying to bring, Measure P is supposed to help essential services and public safety. So I've been trying to bring up proposing that Vallejo hire the herds of goats to go mow down grass. Okay, this place is a huge fire trap. There's like a couple fires. A couple weeks ago, there was a fire that required a preschool to be evacuated. I fucking lost it over that. Not much makes me lose it, but a preschool being evacuated does. And then there was another fire the same day, pretty like the next day. So I was trying to get a chance to figure out how to get this on the agenda, whatever. And the lady that's in charge of this commission, I mean, she's on this weird power trip about shutting other people down. And I think it's this case of, like, sometimes when there's no power, people can get really uptight. People can get even more uptight. Like, okay, like if we were elected officials and she was trying to shut me up, I'd understand. Okay, that's what people do. If we were competing for a job, if we were competing for money and she was trying to shut me up, I would understand. That's what people do. But we're not. None of us are being paid. None of us are running for office. I mean, so I was annoyed about that. I was pissed. I was frustrated. I've been trying to get this dealt. I've been trying to do this for a couple months, and but then in my mind, I was thinking like, okay, come on, you'll tell other people there's always a way. So I was like, okay, light bulb. So I went to city council to speak there and suggest that, no, I didn't go. I called in to say that this is Measure P is for public safety. This is a public safety issue, and Measure P they should spend some Measure P on it. And so then I made a petition which has about 70 signatures on it. It's sort of like sometimes, I mean, there's certain circumstances, a lot of the time petitions don't make any difference. This is just kind of, I don't know. I mean, this is just part of it. Like I sent the message I sent it to the supervisor-elect who didn't know about it. So I connected her with somebody that did, and then I talked to my council person who was talking to the fire chief. So it's just like putting it together, man. I'm the Quincy Jones of Vallejo, man. I pay attention and I put stuff together. So, you just mow it. So, I mean, it's the sort of thing that I was telling my brother about it today, and he said, "You are so pragmatic." And I said, "Yeah, I come by that honestly." Like because like one of the things the laws my dad got passed was flammable proof sleepwear for kids. Because kids sleepwear used to be made of a material that would the entire thing would ignite. And with burns, what determines, it's the percentage of your body. And so, I mean, burns are so deadly for kids because they're little. And you can't, so, and what would happen was, and it was particularly girls, because girls would wear nightgowns. So, and then in wintertime when it's cold, man, I used to lean up in the heater in one of the houses I lived in, and my hoodie, I had a hoodie that was burned from leaning against the heater. But, so kids would do that when it's cold out. They'd be leaning against the heater in the winter, and if it was, and if little girls in nightgowns, because then it ignites, and then you have that draft, so their whole body is just burned. And so the way my dad thought about things was you don't and you don't want to count on your kids, not on getting kids to not lean on the heater. Basically, you don't want to try and make things safer by trying to get people to do or not to do things. You need to try and make things safer no matter what people are doing. So, so now kids' sleepwear is made of a different material that does not ignite all at once. I was looking at some of the newspaper articles from back then, and my dad said that it would seem really odd to other people, but he described, like, they had a kid come in with burns and everybody was really happy because it was like it meant the difference it was life and death. I mean, there were certain things that, like that, a kid in a nightgown, a kid with sleepwear that was burned in sleepwear would almost invariably die because of how sleepwear ignited. And if it doesn't, if you don't have that, then a kid has a couple burns and they're okay. So, and it's the severity of burns, because what's deceptive, because 3rd-degree burns don't hurt. You know that, right?
I never tripped off of it.
Yeah.
So what's like a 3rd-degree burn? Like a little bit of your top layer of skin or something?
No, it's when it's all burned. So the nerves are burned. So it doesn't, you're not
You don't even feel it, huh?
feel it. Yeah. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. So that's what, so a kid would not be, my dad would say, like at the time with those sort of burns, a kid would not be, it would be deceptive because the kid might be like talking, but they were gonna die. They weren't in pain, but they were gonna die because it brought so, but yeah, the worst burns don't hurt. So anyway, so that's the point of doing the what happened to that Michael guy? Of doing the so the lot, I mean, I'm focusing on the brush. We mow that shit down in Vallejo, because I mean, what the fuck are we gonna do? Okay, people are gonna be, there's homelessness, there's encampments. You don't, like, while people are arguing about that and trying to figure out what to do about that, we can make things safer. And like, you can't keep people from building fires or whatever. You just need to try and make things. I mean, well, you need to like catch fucking arsonists. The park fire that's burning right now north of here is just one of the, like, 75,000 acres of burned. Some asshole, an arsonist. That somebody, I mean, that person should go to jail for the rest of their life. A guy's car was on fire and he like pushed it down a valley or something. So yeah, I just, somebody like that. So yeah, people like that, but other people just, I mean, people just trying to like make themselves some food or something. Like, no, they shouldn't be doing that, and they should, but if you can do something about, I mean, there's dry brush fires here all the time. There were people speaking at city council from a certain section of the city that were talking about how often there are brush fires near where they live, but you can't even get, I mean, it's not necessarily documented for, I don't know. I mean, I don't understand. If you call the fire department, I don't understand how there cannot be documentation, but I don't know. Yes.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That is, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, that is crazy. So what's the latest rapper drama?
I don't think there's really any that I know about.
Oh, okay. Okay. Okay.
Nothing I heard about. I'm pretty sure you would have heard it if I heard it.
What?
You would know about it by now.
Not necessarily.
Well, you knew about Kendrick Lamar and Drake.
Vaguely, yeah.
But you still had an idea. You would know.
Okay. Well, you and Age were having this. We're having this conversation, and I was wondering if I'd missed something. I just got a note.
He was talking. We were just talking about the same thing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I just got a note that my okay, your post was your post was detected by our system and had its visibility limited. Uh-oh. We have determined your post violated our rules against hateful conduct.
What post?
What the fuck did I say, people?
What post are you talking about?
Okay, I posted okay, there's last time I was on here, I gave the recap about the podcast I was on about about transgender sports. I gave a recap on that. That hasn't been released yet. And so, yeah, that will get me major fucking shit. So, somebody had, I was pushing it with this tweet actually. So I don't, so Buck Angel, the trans man, former porn star that is in this fight. I mean, he thinks the world has gone, he's like, I mean, he is a female to male transgender man, and he says he is a biological female. And so the whole thing with transgender women saying that they have a right to play women's sports, they don't. Yes. I mean, there's just a fucking track meet in Canada. 3 fucking dudes won. Yeah. Yeah, it's fucking bullshit. It is so fucked up. And so it's Buck and Angel and some other people just saying no. And I think, see, I'm one of the first people, I don't think he hadn't really had anybody on from my demographic, basically. I mean, I'm a gay woman about his age. She's a little older than I am. And so we were talking about what things were like for our community 30 years ago, 40 years ago, and where some of the shit started. And I mean, what he said, you know, he's saying that, you know, like, if you're trans women aren't women, trans women are trans women. And that, okay, if this isn't, so why aren't there, you don't see female to male transsexuals trying to compete with men. Like, actually, there are female to male, yeah, there's female to male transsexuals that play in women's sports because biologically they are women. They are still women. So yeah, they don't want to go play in dude sports. I mean, because they're gonna get their ass kicked. So yeah, so somebody was posting something about, like, so I mean, Buck Angel is transgender, and he's being accused of being transphobic because he wants this shit to end. So I posted on.
So
yes,
is this the same thing about the same transgender that wants to play in the Olympics?
Yeah.
Oh God, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. And they changed the rule. It was, and it's like, it's schools. It's the school sports. They changed it in school sports. Kids get to go where they're most comfortable. Well, what about everyone? So yeah, so it means that, like, yeah, girls are.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you now, them other countries ain't gonna play that mess.
They
They might can get over here, but man, they try that with the Olympics. That is not gonna fly.
It's actually got real bad in well, yeah, I mean, it did in Great Britain, but yeah, well, it didn't. Yeah, because yeah, yeah, and it's just, it's so fucked up, and it just, they ruin, I mean, no, your your life can go on. I mean, if you're an athlete that misses out on your sport, but it's not, but having to do it because it's not fair, because some dude like, yeah, I mean, the person that got a lot of attention was somebody named Leah Thomas, who was ranked on number 400 swimming as a man, and then she transitioned and placed 5th in the country, you know, swimming as a woman. Like, he's 6 feet, you know, 6'4", like, so yeah, so we're just so I put down, so some non-trans person was opening their mouth, and so I put down, if it weren't for cisgender straights, there's a way to spell straights the same way that there's a way to spell whites, which is sort of says more than the words can, which is, okay, so if it weren't for cisgender straights taking over, we wouldn't be in this mess. Healthy, stable, transgender adults overwhelmingly oppose. I mean, there's medical treatment for kids to transition. And I remember when I was first hearing about it, like 15 years ago, and they are not assessed. And it is life-changing treatment. It is hormones and surgery just given to kids. And no, they shouldn't be getting it. And there's doctors that don't, and so or there's not enough. It's all wrong. It is all fucked up. And there's just been a lot of people will, like, kids will talk about like having one appointment with a doctor and then being referred to a gender clinic. I mean, it is, yeah. And so now there's a whole community called detransitioners. I mean, you know, people that get older and they have their body is irreversibly altered because of medical interventions that happened before they were even 18 years old. And some are like, and so, you know, so it was one of the reasons that I went on the podcast, was to say, like, to Buck's audience that, to the detransitioners, that you have my support, and that a lot of people in the community that, yeah, they're going to be facing a lot of bullshit from the community for having the guts to say that they regret it, and that, yeah, putting themselves out there like that. And so Buck and me were saying, like, yeah, Buck was saying to me, like, yes, we need to be role models. I was like, okay, I guess. But yeah, so that's yeah, I was definitely being a little harsher. I was a little harsher with somebody on Facebook, too, but he got in my friend space. But I mean, I'm careful. I do a little bit of stuff on, I mean, I'm on Twitter, for the historians that I follow, the historians, the geographers, and then race, the race and indigenous scholars, because that's where you fucking get the information. It's somebody, was asking me about Bayard Rustin again. I mean, it's Bayard Rustin again, and you know, I mean, that, like, oh yeah, but you know, he's like, oh yeah, the person, he's not well known. I was like, well, you know what? That's white people that really perpetuated that. So, I'm planning but I don't want to distract it. I mean, man, I cannot believe we're going to be this fucking gallery row. We're going to take pictures, but, yeah, when early Thursday morning, I'm taking the plane to Washington, D.C., and our friends Tamala and Mila are going to be at the airport too. I wish we were on the same plane. Their plane like leaves a half hour later than me. So we get to, then the next day, real quick trip. So the next day we're gonna have a tour of the Capitol. Me and Mila and Tamala, and then that afternoon, then is the opening. Oh my gosh, of Alan's art. So, you know, so they're doing You know, they're doing the publicity because I was, I'm like, this needs to be all about the gallery and about Alan's art. And so I don't want to be in any of the interviews or anything. I mean, there's so little space. You just want the art to, you want them to get, I mean, if you're a producer, then you're best, you want other people, you want other people to get in front, or that my success will have a lot to do with how successful this is. But there's going to be some interesting people there. I'm just a lot more excited to be going to DC than I was before. I was like, I was bumming about Uncle Joe. There was a whole lot of Twitter. There was a whole lot of Twitter posts. See, I always the first conversation I ever had about it with Alan. He's like, I said something about, because this was like a year or two ago. I said something about my Uncle Joe. He's like, what? Like, that's my Uncle Joe, man. Let's take a break.
You ready?
Yeah.
Let's do it. And it's Global History Night, y'all.
Your love to me is very serious. I'm tender when I look into your eyes and say I love you, girl.
Yo, CA baby, West, hey yo, yeah, MC Wicks, hey, yo, what up? Another day, another dollar, I'm trying to get dumb rich for myself, fuck a bitch. Raised in the gutter, I was taught not to trick. I kick game and ism is so slick. It's a blessing that I even exist. Trying to manifest my dreams and revenue streams. Lexus with the sunroof down to feel the breeze. Ratchet bitches in a bottle with Hennessy. I pop my collar, I know that they feeling me. I'm connected, don't make me your enemy. Legendary, speak on me for the centuries. I keep it playing, I guess it's a Cali thing. Authentic, not a script on your TV screen. See me with 40 midgets up in the limousine. Put your mind to it, you could do anything. Put your mind to it, you could do anything. Another day, another dollar, I'm trying to get Benjamins, I ain't living like this. Another day, another dollar, I'm trying to get filthy rich off of talking my shit. Another day, another dollar, I'm trying to get Benjamins, I ain't living like this. Another day, another dollar, I'm trying to get. Let's go. Filthy rich off of talking my shit. My whole life I've been broke, I'm out for the dough. Cause that shit be crushing my soul. But I got flows and I'm destined to blow up. I got bars, I don't need no luck. So pass me a 40 and let's get drunk. If you love the West Coast, throw your fucking dubs up. If the bitch out of pocket, tell that hoe to shut up. Keep it moving, kick rocks, fly shits forever and never stops. I'm like the mayor when I walk through my city blocks. Popping out from the ghetto, who would've thought that I would chase my dreams and make it happen. Hood famous, fuck going platinum. Respected by the real ones in my city, I'm tapped in, that's a fact. I ain't lying, I acting, gotta keep it 1,000, always get to the action. Another day, another dollar, I'm trying to get Benjamins, I ain't living like this. Another day, another dollar, I'm trying to get filthy rich off of talking my shit. Another day, another dollar, I'm trying to get Benjamins, I ain't living like this. Another day, another dollar, I'm trying to get filthy rich off of talking my shit.
Baby. And it's Global History Night, y'all. And are you in the building?
Yeah. Okay. The park fire has burned 350,000 acres. Yeah. Somebody pushed a burning car into a gully. Yes, yeah. So one of the things that was cool is Kamala gave a speech. Benjamin Netanyahu was in Prime Minister of Israel was in Washington D.C. and of course he spoke to Congress and of course did the asshole thing every fucking time. Okay, he brings up about when people talk about the numbers of Gazans and Palestinians killed, he goes, he said like, that's just, it's anti-Semitic to bring that up because Hamas uses them as human shields. Like, and you still, and you walk and then there's this real popular refrain amongst the Zionists of making fun of, because there's people that'll hold up signs saying gays for Gaza, and people going like, oh, those dumb Jews, those dumb gays, they don't even know that Hamas would kill them. I'm like, yeah, yes, I know very well that they hate me. I support human rights. I support human rights for everybody, whether they hate me or not. That's what supporting human rights means. Really, I mean, it means you care about people. It means you care about the rights of people to live, whether they hate you or not. Like, what, somebody hates me, so I'm so I was just like, get my fucking name out of my mouth, out of your mouth, Netanyahu. This gay does not want to hear from you. And I was also, I didn't even want to get going on but I was like, okay, your friend's the ultra orthodox. See, he's just the biggest fucking hypocrite, because ultra orthodox Jews are about as conservative as they're about as conservative. I mean, they are as conservative, and they are an oppressive system, and they don't, no, I mean, they're not, they don't go out and bomb stuff for the most part, because that's not their culture, it's not, but fanaticism is fanaticism. I'm like, look, those people, and the conservative government likes those people because they all vote how their bosses tell them to. So, and they have babies because their women are just breeders to them. So yeah, they keep banging out votes and they get what they want. So they're in a way, so, there you have the problem again of numbers. See, like in some community, I don't know how they do this in Israel, but like there's communities, many of the densely populated areas in a country like Israel are going to be very conservative, because it's those right wingers that believe in having as many kids as possible. So then you're going to have the conservatives in a more densely populated area than elsewhere, and yeah, their vote, so that is, I mean, talk about it a little bit here, like, okay, wait, that is why, I mean, that's why in some respects conservatives like to have lots of kids. It will give them more power, more political power. So yeah, nobody needs, I mean, Zionists think that they think anti-Zionists don't understand. there's a lot of ignorance. There's a lot of ignorance on both sides, so far as I mean, there's just a lot of ignorance, period. But plenty of us do. And besides, I mean, gays for Gaza, it's not saying gays for Hamas. It's saying so anyway, Kamala Harris gave the most pro-Palestinian speech I've ever heard any elected official make ever. Any any mainstream elected official, I guess, or anybody in her sort of position, because no, she can't say whatever she wants. The executives cannot do that. But so she wasn't at the Congress. She met with Netanyahu privately, and then she spoke, and I'm gonna have to watch it again because I was sure enjoying his face, like listening to her, just having to sit there like, oh boy, yeah, we are getting some new perspectives in there. I mean, like, to me, I mean, she's like us to me. I mean, she's the first person that I feel like any similarity to. They run into that, I mean, I came of age in fucking Bay Area, COVID cases are rising. I was supposed to have an event this past week showing.
I'm starting to think people don't trip off of COVID no more.
I had to cancel. Yes, they do. I had to cancel my event.
Oh, really? Because, dude, I don't know on our end. When I remember when it first came out, it used to be bad, but it just seems like it's different now. Like, people don't trip as much as they used to.
Well, I have one friend of mine has it, and she went like she hasn't had it. It was the first time she'd had it in all these years. But, well, I got home Thursday. Yeah, I got home Thursday night, and there was a message from the museum director saying that a staff member at the museum, I knew exactly who he was talking about because it's a small staff, but had COVID, and they were canceling. The museum was canceling an event that they were having on Saturday, but that it was up to me whether or not to cancel my Friday event. So I did. I'm like, okay, if the facility isn't having their events, I don't want to have an event. And that it was my event was going to be in the room where they were set. I knew exactly who he was talking about. They'd been like setting up stuff. So I don't know. A lot of my one of the reasons I've been wanting to do like weekday events is for seniors, and yeah, so that was a bummer. I mean, I just felt like it just would not have felt respectful, I guess. It's like, okay, if the administration here doesn't think it's safe to have people, I'm not gonna have people. So yeah, but so that was disappointing. But yeah, people aren't tripping like they did, but then people just, I don't know. Numbers are rising, but I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I think people are less scared now. I think now it's going to be like a real bad case of the flu. I mean, because if you have your shots, then it's not as bad. So that was a lot. I mean, because yeah, I had it. I've had it once. Have you had it?
No. But they also said a lot of people could have had it before it was really announced.
That's what I heard. Yeah.
So
yeah.
You never know. I could have had and don't know it.
Yeah. Yeah. People have had it, and yeah, I know plenty of people who think that they had it before. I've been reading a book about the early 20th century in New York, and it's about the Irish mob. I mean, it's about the mob kind of before they were the mob. It was sort of Italian immigrants were really mistreated bad when they came here. I mean, and there was a lot of racism and discrimination toward them. Like I've read accounts like Ralph Bunn. I mean, there were communities where like the Italians were treated worse than Black people. There were like northern communities like that, or so there was an organization called the Black Hand, and they were pretty vicious. There was bombings and extortions and kidnapping, because like the mafia later on, I mean, they pretty much, they don't, for mostly, I mean, they had like a code of like not touching women and kids. And the Black Hand did not. There was kidnappings, and there was nothing people could do because cops were all Irish and didn't want to protect them. So I'm reading a biography of a Sicilian guy that joined the police force and pretty much and was really good at disguises and spoke different languages and would go undercover and was just instrumental in taking it down. I guess they killed him eventually. Unfortunately, I don't know why it says that right at the beginning of the book, because you know what's going to happen. But yeah, I mean, I had no idea. I mean, I had no idea how scary and how vicious and dangerous that mob was. I mean, it was really nonstop on civilians, basically. It wasn't like yeah, I mean, it was extortion more than like running rackets or whatever. I mean, it's one thing, it's like if you bring in people just minding their own business and kids, and kidnappings were frequent. So yeah. Yeah, so I'm ready to start winding down.
I think we all are.
Yeah, been a long weekend. So, okay. Well, everybody, Jody, Scott, thank you for listening. We appreciate you. And Michael, hey, you ever show up, man? I don't know what happened to you.
We got you, Michael.
We got you, Michael.
We got you.
I messaged
Don't
him.
worry about it.
Okay. Okay, cool. Well, I'll talk to you soon then.
All right.
Okay, night. Bye.
Later, everybody.